Hello, my loves. Welcome to your cosmic weather report for the week ahead. Now, we maybe don't need telling that the energies at the moment are wild. And this is going to kind of culminate on Monday and then start to open up through the week ahead, because we begin the week on Monday with not only the Aquarius full moon, but it's also a Mercury Cassimi. We've got 2 T-squares, a fixed grand cross, a finger of God. This is huge astrology, like huge. I've been doing the Lunar Living membership now for 5 years maybe, and I've been working with the moon for over 15 years, and we have had moons with big astrology. But this moon is, I've not seen astrology like this for such a long time. It is evolutionary, it's revolutionary, it's rebellious. It's going to bring such a lot with it. Now, in the 50 minutes I have here, I don't have time to go into all of these different aspects, but I want to touch on a few for you. All of them are covered in Lunar Living. So if you really want to go deep into this moon and work with these huge lunar energies, you'll find it all in there. But this moon is going to bring a sense of pressure, but a pressure that wants to forge and free you. It's going to bring a big desire for change. It's going to shake you awake from anywhere you've been sleepwalking in your life or heading in the wrong direction or not paying attention to the signs and the messages that really wanted to come through for you. So there is going to feel a huge amount of, we're going to feel this moon deeply. It's a super moon as well. It's huge. So we are going to feel this deeply as this push and propel forwards, and this pressure and this sense of perhaps being squeezed. But equally, this full moon is cosmic in the astrology. It's cosmic. It's otherworldly. It's going to bring in new frequencies, new energies, new downloads, new soul codes, new soul contracts. All of this is going to come through with this moon. This is where we start to get a clearer direction on why our souls came here at this time. I've said for an awfully long time, our souls have chosen to be here at this time on Earth. We're going to start to get a clearer direction of that at this full moon. So first of all, with that Mercury Cassimi, I want you to really open yourself up to receiving insights, information, messages, signs, downloads. If you've been really struggling with things lately, I want you to give it up to something greater. I want you to take some time to pray, to be in quiet moments where you ask your soul self, your higher self, the universe, please help me with this. Please guide me. Please show me the way. This is a day that we can really access higher divine insights, cosmic consciousness. Again, our soul, we can really attach into or tune into our soul codes, the reason we're here, our soul journey, our soul purpose, why we're here right now, going through what we're going through on Earth at this time. The other aspect I want to really talk to you about is the T-square that we've got between Venus, Jupiter and Saturn. So we've got Venus square Jupiter, Jupiter square Saturn and Venus opposite Saturn. So this is a T-square. The reason I want to mention this to you is it's quite important. So this is Jupiter and Saturn are now in an ongoing square. They're going to meet at this full moon. They'll then meet again in December and in June next year. This is an echo from the really huge Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that we had on the winter solstice in 2020, where they met at 0 degrees of Aquarius. As you know, Pluto is about to move into Aquarius. Jupiter and Saturn are now meeting for the first time. So this is bringing echoes of 2020, and it's showing us what the last few years have been for, where they've been bringing us to, where it is that we are now going. So I want you to really look back to 2020 and how your life has changed since then, how you've changed since then, how you're maybe still stuck in some of the things you were back then, and really now see this as a refocus point, a reorientation point on your life journey of where you want to go next. Now, with Venus being involved in this, Venus is going to ask you, are you living by your values and living in your truth and standing in your power and knowing your worth? This is going to really ask you to look at Where do you let criticism and self-doubt hold you back from being all of you and going after what you want? Because the other aspect I want to talk to you about is the sun is square Uranus in this day. So this is liberation and freedom to be you, the most true and authentic you, your soul you, the you that you came here to be. There is nobody else in the world like you. And the only way we're going to affect shifts and changes in the world is if all of us begin to be us, be who we are, do what we came here to do. So there's going to be a very big awakening at this full moon. It's going to be a huge personal awakening, asking you to step into your sovereignty, your freedom, your power, your worth, your truth, and to really begin to live by your values and who you want to be after everything the last few years has brought for us. Now we get then a couple of days of downtime to take a deep breath. And then on Thursday, we move into Virgo season, which is going to be kind of so well received. Because Virgo season asks us, after all the busyness of summer, to begin to now gather back. This is a time now, or a season now, for deep devotion to self-care, to taking care of your health once again. So if you've been out and about all summer and rushing here and there and traveling and the kids have been off and you've been out of routine and eating out more or drinking out more or whatever it may be, Virgo season now is structures, routines, coming back to those things that really nourish you and make you feel good. So towards the end of the week, I want you to really start to look at where you've not been taking care of yourself and your health, both your mental health, your physical self, emotional health. Where have you not been taking care of yourself? And what routines now and disciplines can you start to put in place to ensure that you're beginning to take care of yourself once again? Because especially with all this huge planetary energy at the moment that we're going through, that wants to bring in these new frequencies, these new downloads, these new informations. Again, the solar flares that are happening, they're there to break up all of the old beliefs, all of the old kind of gunk in there that keeps us repeating our patterns and stories, which we'll get onto in a moment. And helps to raise our vibration so we can hold the vibration of this new earth that's coming in, this new energy that's coming in. But the only way we can do that is to really care for ourselves, to make sure that our vessel is as nourished and as healthy as it can be, to make sure that we're resting. We can't receive what wants to come in if we're rushing around everywhere. So this now is about rest and devotion to your self-care. Now, Friday is going to give us then a day to begin to embody a lot of what we started to learn over the full moon. On Friday, we get Mercury trine Chiron, and then we also get Venus square Mars. So what we might find initially with Mercury meeting Chiron is a sense of old wounds beginning to come up that keep you from being you. So the wound of not enough, the wound of too much, the self-criticism, the self-doubt, all those little wounds that we've created that keep us from being us, from speaking our truth, from stepping up, from showing up. We're really going to be able to start to see these things. They're going to really come into our awareness. But then as Venus squares Mars, there's going to be this huge desire to go after what you want and to really stand in your worth, to say, I'm not going to let these things hold me back anymore. I'm not going to let this wound of not enough, this wound of too much, this wound of whatever it is, this thing that happened to me 5 years ago that's made me now behave in this or believe this about myself or life, like enough, I'm done. No. I want to now stand in the full embodiment of who I am, stand in the full embodiment of believing in myself and loving myself and caring for myself and knowing that I've got something to offer to the world. And I'm going to start to go out there and I'm going to be me and I'm going to bring what I can bring. So alongside this wounding is then going to be a drive to overcome this wounding and these old stories, and to start to use that as a catalyst for more change, to really look at where you do stay stuck in old patterns from the past and know that you're the only one with the power to change them. You can't wait for anybody or anything else out there to change. It's got to come from you. So this is going to be a day then of real embodiment of values, embodiment of worth. And that might come in taking care of yourself, looking after yourself, knowing that you are worthy and deserving of your time, care and attention, and really turning that back to yourself. Now, Saturday again, then we get another kind of interesting big day on Saturday. We get Mercury sextile Mars and then Mars sextile Chiron. So this now is going to be, again, another big day where there's going to be decisions made. You're going to feel the need as Mercury meets Mars. You're going to know where to go, what to do. This is the decision I'm going to make. I'm going to stop waiting now for, oh, well, should I do this or should I do that? Or, oh, well, then that might happen. Or, oh, well, I'll just hang on for that. No, done. I'm going to make the decision. So rather than worry left or right, left or right, left or right, I'm just going to decide one. I'm going to make the decision. There's going to be a day of really big decision making. And again, a setting of boundaries, a really clear day of setting boundaries around what you are and aren't available for anymore. And especially around those woundings that we discovered the day before, there's going to be this real clarity around where you're no longer willing to keep telling the stories of the past. And you're no longer willing to keep being the version of you that perhaps other people expect you to be based on the past. There's going to be this real reclamation. The Aquarius full moon at the start of the week is shaking us awake and asking us to be ourselves. And towards the end of the week now, there's going to be this realization of, this is where I've been out of integrity. This is where I've been out of alignment. This is where I've been out of congruence. This is where I've still been living stories of the past. This is where I've been waiting for other people to do certain things before I can. This is where I've been pretending to be a version of me that I'm not. This is where I've kept telling all those stories around my worth and what I do or don't deserve and what I can and can't have. And because they did that, that means this. And no, I'm turning the page. Like a whole new story is getting started here. The only thing I want to say around this day is, just because we've got that Chiron energy, we've got some Mars energy there as well. Just be mindful then, if you are setting boundaries, of having a sharp tongue, having like fighting talk, and suddenly wanting to go back and tell everybody who's ever done anything to you exactly what you think of them. Just be mindful. Just be mindful of that, and having a sharpness in your tongue. And take that moment to pause and take a deep breath and feel into, is this even worth it? Is this even worth it? Sometimes one of the best things that we can do is make our lives the example of what it is that we want. And that's how we start to kind of prove things from the past. We don't sometimes need to go back there and dig things up. We just need to reorient ourselves and move in a new direction and show what's possible when we just begin to be and believe in and value all of ourselves. So this is a huge week, but it's a week where now things start to make more sense. A new direction opens up. There's new clarity around old wounding and old stories. There's new frequency, new energy coming in. And again, remember, we can't hold new energy, new frequency if we're still telling the stories of the past and the behaviors of the past and acting who people wanted us to be in the past. There has to be a shift into, who am I now? And with that T-square at the full moon that's asking us to reflect back to 2020, have that real reflection of, how have I changed? But where have I perhaps not caught up, or where have other people in my life not caught up with that change? And where is there now going to be a new boundary around who I am now and what it is I deserve and desire? What's my truth? What are my values? And how am I now going to move forwards differently from this point, being authentically and truthfully all of who I came here to be, and offering what only I can offer. Big week, my loves, big week. There's so much more I could say, but as I say, I get 15 minutes on here. I'm coming to time. Thank you so much for being part of this, not only this community, but this new world, this evolution. I'm sending you so much love.